Bonjour. Today we're going to look at le futur simple, which is the future tense that you did in third year. So it is revision, but we will start from the very beginning anyway. So whenever you want to talk about what you're going to do tomorrow or any time in the future, you need the future tense. There are two future tenses in French. Le futur simple, which is the one that we're going to do today. And then there's also le futur proche. And we had a look at that at the very beginning of this year. It was where you use the verb aller and a full verb right next to it, as you would in English. So for example, je vais faire mes devoirs. I am going to do my homework. Or je vais téléphoner à mes amis. I am going to phone my friends. So it is used for the immediate or the near future, as in I am going to do something. Le futur simple would be more like the English word will, as in I will do my homework, I will phone my friends, and so on. So that would be the difference between the both of them. So the futur simple is quite an easy tense to use. It has no helping verb. Okay, so none of the avoir and être like we had seen in the passé composé. So to form the futur simple, for regular verbs, you leave the verb in full. So you leave it in the infinitive form, and then you add on the following endings. So ai is for je, as for tu, a is for il, elle, and on, nous, ons, vous, ez, and ont for the last part, il and elle. And just watch that last part, the ont. Most of the time in French verbs, the last part ends in ent or some form of that. So just to watch this in the future sample, it's ont. So we'll just look at a few examples. Like I said, regular verbs, you leave the verb in full. So for example, parler is an ER verb. So you leave it in full with the ER on it. And then you add on to the end of it whichever ending is appropriate. So, je parlerai. You can see the AI there. Tu parleras. You will speak. Il, elle parlera. Nous parlerons. Vous parlerez. And il, elle parleront. Okay, so there you have the verb left in the infinitive form, which is in its full. And then you add on whichever ending you're using. For punir, exactly the same thing. It's an IR verb this time. So you have the verb in full, there's the punir, and you add on to the end of it your ending, which is AI. So je punirai, tu puniras, il, elle punira, nous punirons, vous punirez, il, elle puniront. Okay, for the RE verbs, there is a slight change here. So just watch with those. You do drop the E before you add on the endings. Now they are regular verbs. This is just done to accommodate pronunciation. But if you want to think of it this way, that the last letter must be R before you can add on a future ending. Okay, so that you can pronounce it correctly. So you would be just dropping the E and then adding on the same set of endings. So je vendrai, tu vendras, il, elle vendra, nous vendrons, vous vendrez, il, elle vendront. Okay, so that is the future sample of regular verbs. You're leaving them in the infinitive form. Just watch the RE one that you take the E out, and then you add on the ending that you need. It's very important that you learn the set of endings. Okay, some people think they look like the verb avoir, as in j'ai, tu as, il, elle, on a, nous and vous doesn't really work, and then the ont at the end for il and elles ont. Whichever way you want to learn them, make sure you do learn those off by heart. Now for the irregular verbs, again, there isn't a very long list. They're listed here for you on this page. They need to be learned off by heart. With the irregular verbs, they do not stay in their infinitive form. So you don't leave these ones in full. They get a new stem, but the same endings that we were just talking about are added on to the new stem. Okay, so there is only one set of endings for this tense. So for example, aller, you don't leave it in full. You would change it to the IR, which is its new stem, and then whichever ending you're using goes on to that. Okay, appeler is the verb to call. So appel, so you'll see there that there's just a double L. That's the only irregularity there. Avoir is to have, and it changes to or. Courir, the verb to run, changes to cour. Devoir, to have to, must, is devre. Envoyer, to send, is envers. Être, the verb to be, ser. Faire is to do or make, changes to faire. Pouvoir, to be able to or can, is pour. Pleuvoir, the verb to rain, is pleuvre, and of course that will only be in the il form, il pleuvra. Recevoir, to get or receive, changes to recevre. Savoir is to know, changes to savoir. Tenir, the verb to hold or to keep, is tiendre. Venir, the verb to come, is viendre. Okay, so they rhyme. Voir, the verb to see, is ver. Vouloir, to want or wish, is voudre. Cueillir is the verb to gather or pick. Okay, and it's just the ER there in that new stem. That's the irregularity. Falloir is what we are used to saying, il faut. It would be il faudra. Okay, so again, that can only be in the il form. And valoir, the verb to be worth, vaudre. So il vaudra. Okay, so for the irregular verbs in the future, you need to learn that list. You need to learn what they change to, the new stem. And then the same endings go on. So if you look at the bottom, just for a few examples, je serai content means I will be happy. Je me coucherai vers 11h. I will go to bed around 11 o'clock. So that is a reflexive verb. So if you remember those ones, je me lève, je me couche, je m'amuse, those reflexive verbs, you just treat those like a regular verb. Okay, so that part, it was an ER verb. You added on the ending for AI. You do change the pronoun in the middle. So je me coucherai. You would go to bed would be tu te coucheras. Okay. Nous irons au cinéma vendredi. We will go to the cinema Friday. J'organiserai une boom le weekend. I will organise a party at the weekend. And je devrais faire mes devoirs. I will have to do my homework. Make sure with your pronunciation that you are saying that R before your ending is put on. You do need to hear that. Okay, essay 2.